Hey, what up, everybody? Stephen Breach coming to you. I'm all fired up about the news that I just read. It seems that Hulk Hogan is taking his career, and he's finally going to be putting it on ice. He's going to be going back to where it all started, to where it all began from. No, not the AWA, going back to the WWE. Why nobody is looking. I'll Hulk up for you. I'll tear the shirt off. I'm all sorts of fired up. I'm doing the Hulk thing here for you, but honestly, what the news is that they have a verbal agreement going on between Hulk Hogan and the WWE, just basically stating that he's going to be coming in, he's going to be doing some appearances, promoting the WWE and WrestleMania. Hulk Hogan coming back home and being a part of WrestleMania 30, to me, honestly, is going to be huge. If you look at what WrestleMania 10 was, being the monumental event, but just basically being the event that is, moving them out of the Hulk Hogan era. It was the first WrestleMania that Hogan wasn't involved in. If you've read the WrestleMania book that came out back in the day, sometime around WrestleMania 20 is when I think that... No, it came out way before then. It came out around WrestleMania 16, but it's a pretty cool book. They claim that when they were planning WrestleMania 9, Hulk Hogan was nowhere a part of the plans, and Hogan was the last-minute add-on to that show, being with of course, with him winning the title at the end with his creative control card with him and Yoko and Bret Hart at the end. But honestly, I just, WrestleMania 10 was that. WrestleMania 20 had that little, skit that bridged the gaps between the Golden Era and the Attitude Era, and what that attitude, whatever the era of that time was, with Carlito, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Roddy Piper all in the ring at the same time. But I mean, to have Hulk Hogan at this monumental thing, of course we're going to have WrestleMania 31, WrestleMania 35, WrestleMania 40, WrestleMania 50 isn't even, it's going to happen, but 30 is a pretty big monumental number. And for them to reach the Triple X state from where they started is just beyond crazy. Everybody always thought that professional wrestling as a sport or as an entertainment company wouldn't last, and it's as strong today as it ever once was. Nobody leaves. It's like just basically a cult. But basically, the news is that they want to bring in Hogan. They want to try and keep it as much as a surprise as they can. They're wondering if maybe they should put Hogan in the Rumble to make his really big debut. And honestly, if that rumor stays strong, what I normally do is I go to work and then I go home and I watch the Rumble on rerun. But I want to make sure. I mean, even if he's rumored he's going to be there, I want to see that, because that's going to be fucking bonanza. The pop that Hogan gets whenever he finally comes back home is going to be bigger than the one I think he got when he came back from WCW. Nobody wanted to see Hogan end his career in TNA. He went there, he had a dream. He thought he could help out, the wrestling business as a whole. He thought he looked at this TNA company. Yes, they were paying him, a shitload of money to go in there and try to right the wrongs of Vince Russo and everyone that, got that company off tracks. But maybe you got to look at that company as just, it's never going to get right, and it's hard to be a number two in this world unless you have, millions of dollars behind you like the WWE does, how they have the huge performance place down there in Florida where, they can build their own Stars of Tomorrow, while, TNA is having to, pick off, what's left of the indies out there. And, it's been stated that if you want to sign with TNA, you're basically kissing your WWE career goodbye. I mean, there's Consequences Creed, Xavier Woods, who's in developmental there, but he's been in developmental, honestly, there for years. Marcus Cavan went there, and he had to end his career short. But there's not really many guys that have even gone there and had, a successful run. But there's nobody who's ever gone there and made a big run. You can really sort of throw R-Truth in there, but R-Truth was a WWE guy before he was a TNA guy. They did, use him more, than when they were using K-Quick back in the days with him and Road Dogg as the tag team. But, I am honestly all fired up. I think it's really hard for me to book what you're going to do with Hogan, but I mean, I'm a homer. I love Hulk Hogan. Him and Triple H are my two favorite wrestlers of all time. I think Triple H is a better wrestler, but it's even hard for me when I know want me to say it to have it come out of my mouth that Hogan isn't as good as he is, because of how much he meant to my childhood and everything. But I don't want him to win the Rumble, but if he does, and it's him versus Cena at 30, that's a dream match that I can kick off my, off my list. Because that's a match that doesn't have to be good. It just has to happen. It just has to have certain spots where they stare down. They have to have the spot where Hogan takes the attitude adjustment and ends it all right there in the center of the ring. He had his dream. He wanted to win the title one more time. You could say he wanted to win that World Heavyweight Championship and say it's one more time around the bend. It's kind of hard to think of Hulk Hogan not going after the WWE title, but you got to think that hopefully they have bigger things in line for that. But Cena, if he's not fighting Undertaker, there's not much out there that I really want to see from Cena. I've seen just about everything. I love the guy. I'm on the bus. I'm on the Cena bandwagon. Just tell me where we're going and we'll be there. But if you can ask me what we're going to do with Cena to make me care more, it's Cena versus Undertaker or Cena versus Hogan. I got to see Triple H and Hogan in 2002, and that match isn't anything that I want to see ever again. That sucked. To have, it was my two favorite guys, but the wrong guy went over that day. Hogan was white hot when he came back to WWE, and they wanted to make it, as big as they could have been. But putting the title on him in 2002 was just a dumb idea. They should have just had Triple H carry that belt one more month, and if they wanted to put it on Taker, just have fucking Taker beat him just to do it. But, I'm all fired up. There's people watching, so I can't, do it like I was doing it a minute ago. But, damn. Hogan and WWE is going to be real, real fun. I don't know. Whatever they do is going to be fucking awesome. I would love to see him go back to TNA. I don't think there's really much that he really could do there to help that ship out. But WWE's, the place that he belongs. Hopefully he can sign on after he's done doing this wrestling stuff. Maybe he can do some stuff with this network that might sound like it actually might be happening. I still don't... I won't believe it until I see it. But, just have Hogan in any sort of discussions, or maybe have him, do the little cutaways to commercials, anything, just have him on board for WWE DVDs. There's so many DVDs that could have been so much better if Hogan wouldn't have been in TNA. If you think about, the WrestleMania one, I was really, really surprised that he was in, but think of, the WCW DVDs, the NWO DVD that just came out. That's a DVD you wish you could just count off 5 years and just hope they do it again. It wasn't horrible. I think everybody popped when we saw Vince Russo at the end. But just, if they would have had Hogan on board to tell those stories with Hall and Nash and X-Pac and all those guys, it just would have made it a whole lot better. Hogan makes wrestling better. Write that down. Peace out, everybody.